Okay, imagine this. You wake up in a total daze. Your throat is absolutely raw from coughing, you're shivering uncontrollably, and you rub your eyes, but it doesn't even help. Why? Because the darkness around you is so absolute, you literally cannot see your hand in front of your face. You're sitting in this freezing, tiny thatched hut, maybe 7 square meters tops, with a slowly dying bonfire in the middle of a dirt floor. Outside, the wind is just howling. Now, our protagonist should be asleep in his college dorm room right now, but instead, he's here. Is it a prank? A kidnapping? Before his mind can even begin to process the sheer panic of the situation, a cold, mechanical voice cuts directly into his skull. The voice doesn't care if he's confused. It just immediately lays out these brutal, life-or-death rules. The dark is deadly, the bonfire is the only thing keeping you safe, and you have to cherish the short daytime if you want to gather resources. And here's the kicker. He is not alone. He finds a physical survival manual, and the pages actually update in real time, almost like a digital screen. When he checks the World Channel, the counter reads 8 billion. Every single human on Blue Star has been transmigrated to this dark world. The entire global population is split up into these isolated regions of exactly 10,000 people. And almost instantly, someone in the regional chat starts panicking. Their fire blew out. They scream, begging something in the dark not to come closer. And then, just silence. The region counter ticks down to 9,999. Shaken, he opens his survival manual, and its pages flip to reveal this 8-tier rarity system for items in this new world. It stretches from no rank all the way up to mythical. So what does our guy get to start with to survive this absolute nightmare? A chipped, worn-out stone axe. It doesn't even make it onto the lowest tier. It is officially no rank. The description basically says it's mostly for chopping firewood. And he's just left sitting there wondering how many swings it's going to take to cut down even a single tree with this piece of junk. When daylight finally breaks, giving him a precious 8 hours of visibility, he cautiously steps outside. He's in a 300-meter safe zone surrounding his hut. It's totally barren, mostly just birch trees. He calculates it's going to take him 10 whole minutes of exhausting physical labor just to chop down one thin sapling with that awful axe. But then he gets hit with a stroke of extreme luck. Hitting in the weeds, right along the pitch-black border of the safe zone, he spots a metallic glint. It's a black iron treasure chest. Inside, he scores some fermented herring, a bottle of water, and something far, far more valuable, a black iron blueprint for a small water bucket. He realizes instantly that this bucket blueprint is a literal golden goose. Think about it. You have 8 billion completely unprepared, thirsty transmigrants. That is an impossibly massive market. So he dives into a grueling physical grind. He chops wood for 10 minutes just to get a single unit. Then he spends another 10 minutes turning 3 units of wood into a 10-liter bucket. And then he exploits that desperate market on the trade channel to sell them for massive profit. Just as the exhaustion is really starting to set in after 6 straight hours of heavy labor, a tree falls and reveals another chest, perfectly camouflaged in the leaves. And it's a bronze chest. The haul inside is absolutely staggering. He gets a baguette, so hard it could basically double as a weapon. A simple plastic lighter, which sounds boring but is literally the difference between life and death here because you cannot survive the night without fire. A bronze axe that instantly doubles his chopping speed. But the real prize? The Fountain of Mutation. It's a silver rank, sustainable item that produces 100 milliliters of purple mutating spring water every single day. As day 1 wraps up, a system broadcast announces that all this effort is actually rewarded. Every survivor gets points based on their daily harvest, and those points are converted into a lottery wheel. Thanks to his frantic chopping and those incredibly lucky chest finds, he scores 293 points. This blows right past the 200-point threshold for Tier 3, securing him a silver lottery wheel. The silver light flashes and a physical item drops right into his hand, a silver lottery compass. Without wasting a second, he uses the compass. It grants him a beast skin scroll for a silver rank skill called the Eye of Taming. But when he activates the scroll to learn the skill, it doesn't just, magically pop into his brain. It physically burns into him. He drops to his knees screaming as this imperceptible purple light drives into his left eye with the pain of thousands of burning needles. Half a minute later, the absolute agony finally stops, leaving him totally drenched in sweat. But he now has the supernatural ability to control the minds of weaker creatures. He decides not to wait to test this terrifying new power out. He notices dozens of large, soybean-sized ants gnawing through his rock-hard baguette with these saw-shaped mandibles. Instead of crushing them, he focuses the Eye of Taming, and it works perfectly. 63 ants freeze completely in place. He commands them to march over to his fountain of mutation and drink the water. Now, it's a brutal experiment. 21 of them die instantly, their bodies literally popping into mush. Dozens more grotesquely deform. But exactly 8 ants survive the mutation process. They swell up to the size of thumbs, evolving into black iron rank hunter ants with a terrifying 10-fold bite force. He just created his first biological weapons. Suddenly, the broadcast system fires up again, triggering this frantic, ticking clock mission. It's a temporary global event. Upgrade your level 1 thatched hut to a level 2 wooden house as fast as humanly possible. The top 10% globally get resource packages, but the top 100 in each region get skill selection packages. The chat channels absolutely go feral. People are selling everything they own, even offering up private photos, just trying to scrape together enough wood and stone to pull off the upgrade. Our guy doesn't hesitate for a second. He dumps all 7 of his crafted buckets onto the trade channel, aggressively undercutting the entire market at 12 wood apiece. They vanish in seconds. But he's still short on stone, so he makes a massive, daring play. He partitions a tiny, tiny amount of his silver rank mutated water into 5 milliliter drops and auctions them off. This bold move catches the attention of Chang Ha, a wealthy survivor who specializes in plants. Through some rapid-fire negotiation and trading, he clears the exact resource threshold needed. He smashes that upgrade button. In a flash of light, his miserable, freezing 7-square-meter hut expands into a sturdy 20-square-meter windproof wooden house. He can finally build a bed and a stove. It's an immense physical relief, but it's quickly overshadowed by a shocking system announcement. He is officially the very first survivor in his entire 10,000-person region to complete the upgrade. For securing first place, he is handed a gold rank skill selection card. It offers him 3 random choices. He can take water affinity, a berserk combat mode, or species contract. He takes a moment to analyze his assets. He's got the mutated water, the taming eye, his 8 hunter ants, and he realizes that surviving this dark world demands absolute specialization. So he locks in species contract, officially binding his very soul to the ant tribe. He's not going to be a warrior or a mage. He is officially committing to the path of a beast tamer. He manages to survive his first comfortable night sleeping on an actual wooden bed, but day 2 brings a harsh, brutal awakening. The system announces that the precious daytime has shrunk from 8 hours down to 7.5. Worse, it issues a region-wide disaster warning. An extreme cold wave is going to hit in exactly 7 days, and it will last an entire month, freezing the entire continent solid. Total panic erupts in the global chat. If they don't somehow stockpile a month's worth of food and firewood within a single week, they're all going to die. With the clock ticking loudly in his head, he sends his 8 hunter ants out to track down their original nest, and they successfully capture the black scythe ant queen. But he knows he needs more than just fighters to survive what's coming. He strikes another deal with his new ally, Chang Ha, who trades him a sentry ant queen she managed to dig up. Now he's got 2 distinct forces. The black scythe queen eats meat and produces heavy combat ants with silver rank potential. The sentry queen eats plant matter and pumps out high-speed reconnaissance scouts with bronze rank potential. But there's a major catch to this whole plan. If a queen drinks the mutated water and fails the evolution process, his entire survival plan dies with her. The black scythe queen starts with only a 48% base success rate. He refuses to gamble his life on a coin flip. So he spends heavily, buying highly expensive mutated boar and rabbit meat from a beast hunter on the trade channel. He literally force-feeds the queen these high-tier resources until her evolutionary success rate climbs to a completely safe, guaranteed 100%. He repeats the exact same process using sandalwood for the sentry queen. Both mutate flawlessly, gaining the absolutely crucial rapid reproduction ability. With his queens safely breeding, he urgently needs to secure more high-tier resources. He notices that upgrading his shelter actually expanded his explorable safe territory from 300 meters to 500 meters. But that outer ring, that is the mutated beast zone. Lured by the sight of a wooden treasure chest and a small tree just laden with bronze-grade red heart fruits, he nervously steps past the old 300-meter safe line, tightly gripping his new bronze axe. He grabs the fruit, grabs the chest, and turns to run back. Suddenly, there's a sound like wind rustling through grass. An unseen shape leaps straight at him. It's a mutated squirrel with bloodshot eyes and razor-sharp fangs, and it was using a magical junior concealment ability. The resulting fight takes exactly 3 seconds, and it is visceral. 1 second in, he desperately blocks the pounce with his axe handle. He gets shoved violently backward. The massive squirrel leaps again. Knowing he can't possibly dodge in time, he brings the heavy bronze axe down in a massive two-handed strike. At 2 seconds, the squirrel's claws rip right through his thick, padded jacket, slicing his chest wide open. And at 3 seconds, the axe blade fatally buries itself right into the beast. Panting, bleeding, and full of adrenaline, he drags his spoils back into the safe zone. The loot is massive. He harvests 3 pounds of highly valuable mutated squirrel meat and blood. The chest drops a black iron blueprint for wooden fences. Best of all, he immediately devours one of those bronze-grade red harp fruits. It's incredibly sweet, and within 10 minutes, this warm current sweeps through his entire body. It completely heals his torn muscles and permanently increases his physical strength. But there is literally no time to rest. The temperature is already plummeting fast. He spends the entire evening frantically crafting those new wooden fences and driving them deep into the rock-hard, frozen dirt around his shelter to fully secure his perimeter. Inside, the outdoor temperature drops to a bone-chilling -14 degrees. He harvests his indoor planter, which is multi-year winter wheat that Changha genetically modified to grow in mere hours, and huddles close to his dual-use stove just to survive the freezing dark of night too. And then, just before the day officially ends, Changha reaches out with the final piece of his survival puzzle. She offers him a bronze-grade artifact called the Ant Nest Nucleus. Now, to anyone else, this thing is garbage, but placed inside an ant nest, it boosts queen breeding speed by 20% and forcefully increases their food consumption by 30%. For our beast tamer, more food consumption directly equals faster mutation rates. It takes his small ant farm and turns it into a rapidly breeding, super mutating biological factory. He locks in the trade. Think about where he is now. He's got a reinforced wooden house, an indoor infinite food source, 2 mutating ant queens, and an artifact to totally supercharge their breeding. But the temperature is continuing to crash outside, and that 7-day countdown to a month-long absolute freeze just keeps marching on. With mutated beasts prowling just past his newly built fences, the real question is, with the deadly cold wave looming in less than a week, just how massive and terrifying will his ant empire need to grow to survive the ultimate freeze?